Okay. So this is Lamed
Lamed.
at least do it outside. The Mishnah has we took out this gifts that we'll see soon today also. Maybe wanted to take it out in the Mishnah to take out of Shabbat and Kiyad that rather than don't have it. So we can take out this of Shimon Gamliel. So the Mishnah has one din that someone takes out hay and straw to Rosh Hashanah in order to make it into compost. Compost, how do you say it?
Yeah, compost.
Compost. So that someone got damaged, so then he has to pay. Kol Kodim and Zachas, that seems to be the main chiddush. That not only is he chayiv if it's damages, but also anybody is allowed to take it. People are allowed to take it. The Chazal made it hefker in order to be a deterrent that people shouldn't do such a thing. The Gemara is going to talk about the Gemara. The reason why they made a deterrent over here is because people have a gain by putting it in the street. Someone puts a bar in the street for no reason, so or not a big reason. That's putting down avdoskin maso. So be careful, and no real desire that is pushing people to make a bar. But by Tevin and Kashi wants to change it into compost. How do you say it? With a compost on the compost, not compost. Compost. Okay. Compost. So people gain by putting it in the street, and people walk on it. The animals walk on it. The traffic. So therefore, in order, he needs a deterrent. So if they made a knas, that people are allowed to take it. Whoever wants to take it because we want to make sure he doesn't do such a thing. We'll skip up Shem Gamliel. We'll see in the Gemara a little bit. But the Mishnah says, "I hope it can go." Which is a rabbin who's a benach chai benisko. The Pasha says here it doesn't say kol kodem ben zacha. If somebody turned over golo's excrement, which also he wants to use eventually for fertilizer. So here it says if it damaged, it's chayiv. The technical problem about this, which we learned already, that there was a bore before. The first case of the mission was he made the bore. People took it out to Tevin Kash into Rosh Hashanah, so he made a bore. Second case is that a bore was there already because it doesn't say put it there. He was hofech, it was there already, and he picked it up and turned it over. So that's chiddush. He turned the golo. He didn't turn the animal.
Oh, the golo.
Was okay. He turned it over, maybe because he wanted it to be stepped on more. I'm not sure, but that the Gemara is a problem. That was a bore ready anyway, and that the Gemara said to pshat him, so to speak. One is because he made a kinyan on it, or because he moves it from place to place. It was also because the sheep holds you have to own it. It'd be a shita that has you have to own it. The Bar B'Shasram would be purpose. He has to own it. That also might be a reason why Hafech Hasagol mean that he made a kinyan. So that was the Mishnah. Here it doesn't say Kol HaKodim Ben Zachan. The Pasha says because it doesn't make any shavach. It doesn't get any better. So there's no burning desire that the person should put it there. You don't have to deter him. The Kashan Tevin, he has a reason to do it. He wants to make shavach. But the goal doesn't get any shavach. It doesn't become better. And therefore they didn't make the kanas of Kol HaKodim Ben Zachan. We'll see the Gemara about that. The Gemara first asks the Kasha because Abuda says that you're allowed to take it out. At the time of the season, when people take out the straw to put into the street in order that it becomes ever, so a person's allowed to. He says he's allowed to leave it there for 30 days in order that it get rubbed out by people stepping on it, and because Yeshua made that takana in the beginning when he divided Israel, everyone should allow each other to put out the devil because it's a necessity everybody has. So far the Gemara just said the kasha. He says you're allowed to do it. Amish doesn't say that you're not allowed to do it. The Amish says if you do it, you got to pay.
If there's damage.
If there was damage done. But the Gemara is asking that the Buddha says you're allowed to do it. So it's only against the Mishnah. Because the Gemara thinks if you're allowed to do it, then you
shouldn't have to pay.
Shouldn't have to pay. Right. The Gemara answers that you're allowed to do it, but if it damages, you have to pay. If you'll tell me Rabbi Yehuda says even though you're allowed to do it, but if it damages, you have to pay. There's two things. One is if you're allowed to do it, you're not allowed to damage. You're not allowed to damage. And if you damage, you have to pay. Here, you're allowed to put it in the street. It's not considered making a bar. They made it the cut that you're allowed to put the Tevin B'Kash in the street, but you still have it's at your own risk. If it's going to damage, you're going to have to pay. So the Gemara so far doesn't see a kasha.
That doesn't.
Yes.
That seems a problem for you.
Why is it a problem?
If during the summer you're not allowed to do it and you have to pay, right?
Okay, so
we're not talking about the summer. We're talking about the Zevel. You're talking about the case before. About rain. We're talking about putting out Tevin B'Kash to put in straw into the street in order that it should get
dry or whatever.
You stepped on.
Oh, so it should get stepped on
by getting stepped on, so then it becomes compost. Yeah. It says you're allowed to do it for 30 days at a time. The Mishas sells volume, and during that season, you're allowed to put it out for 30 days and then take it in.
Tevin B'Kash and volume are two different things, though.
Tevin B'Kash becomes Zevel. Sevel is going to be fertilizer, and Tevin Bakash, you make it into compost, and then you use it for fertilizer. I think anything organic could become compost if I know.
Yeah, put it in compost and
So what is it? What is the compost? It's just a barrel.
place. Yeah.
So here they put it in the street, and that also is going to help that it's going to be stepped on, and it's going to
on
become.
the farms they just make a pile.
And they leave it over there.
Yeah.
But probably they have farms also over there, but probably it goes faster. It gets decomposed faster. People are stepping on it. So they put it in the street.
So you're allowed to do it,
Rita
if
says-
somebody trips and falls on it.
Maybe you have to pay. The one first says it's a contradiction, and the one says no, it's not a contradiction. It could be that you're allowed to do it, but but yes, at your own risk. If it's going to damage, you have to pay. The Gemara first saw a contradiction. The Mishnah says you have to pay. The Buddha says you're allowed to do it. So the Gemara suggests it's not a contradiction. You're allowed to do it, but if it's damaged, you're allowed to pay. Usually we'll tell people you're not allowed to put a bore on the street. You can't put a package in the street. It's making a bore. But here, Buddha says you are allowed to do it, even though you're allowed to do it. But if it's damages, taking a chance, you're gonna have to pay.
That's what we do.
At this point, the Gemara tries to reconcile that's not a contradiction, even though Buddha says that you're allowed to do it, but he agrees that if it damages, you have to pay. But the Gemara's going to go on to say there's another Rabbi Yehuda that says whenever you're allowed to do something, you don't have to pay. So putting the two Rabbi Yehudas together, the Gemara is going to suggest that our Mishnah can't be Rabbi Yehuda. That's what the Gemara continues now. But Tanan, the Gemara brings a different substance altogether about Ner Chanukah. But Tanan Rabbi Yehuda, Omer Ner Chanukah Pater, with Neshus. It talks about over there the camel with the package of pishton, and there was in there that was outside the store. So the Bava Kamma says, "Hi, don't put a flame outside where it can catch on fire." But the Buddha says, "What if it was Chanukah? You have to put in there outside. It's precious. So then, if it damages, you put it." The Gemara sees in Rabbi Yehuda that if you're allowed to do something,
Oh, you're allowed to do it, and here you're allowed to do it. You don't.
right? So if you put the two of Buddhas together, one is that you're allowed to take the cash and tevin out. The other one is he says when you're allowed to do something, you don't have to pay.
Right.
So it's not like our Mishnah. Our Mishnah says that you do have to pay. So either because our Tana holds you're not allowed to do it, or because our Tana holds even if you're allowed to do it, you have to pay. But it's not like Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda couldn't be the Tana of our Mishnah. The Gemara still tries to get out of it. The Gemara says, "My love," first white line.
I don't see. Oh, my last.
My love, Mishus Bezdin. What does it mean, Mishus? Because you're allowed to do it. Bezdin allows you to do it. So you see that if you're allowed to do something, you don't have to pay. Point of view, and our Mishnah says you do have to pay. The more tries to get out of it, low, it's not what it means. Mishus mitzvah. Only because it's a mitzvah, then you don't have to pay.
The Rishus Bezdin would also be looking cash.
Right. And then the more had a kasha that our Mishnah is against that. The more trying to So the more trying to reconcile that our Mishnah could be Rabbi Yehuda. You're allowed to put it out.
Sorry, what
Hanukkah. So by Hanukkah, it's a mitzvah to put in Hanukkah, then you put it for damages. But if only be permissible,
Right.
because Bezdin says you're allowed to put that in the cash because Abraham Maskin Hilchon Yeshua said it should be allowed to, but it's not a mitzvah.
Right.
You're allowed to. So then it's at your own risk, and if you damage, you do have to pay. Our Mishnah could still be Rabbi Yehuda.
Okay.
The Tanya Rabbi Yehuda Omer, and the more even supports it. It says Rabbi Yehuda Omer, b'nei Hanukkah Pater b'nei Shu Rishus mitzvah. He had on the word mitzvah. He doesn't say Rishus. The Mishnah first had a quote about Hanukkah said Neishu Rishus, but here the Bryce is a little bit more elaborate, and it says because it's Rishus mitzvah. So at this point, we're happy that our Mishnah says you have to pay if it damages. Rabbi Yehuda says you're allowed to do it, and still, it wouldn't be a kasha to say you're allowed to do it, but if it damages, you have to pay. So at this point, the Gemara is happy to say Rabbi Yehuda could be the author of our Mishnah. But now the Gemara knocks it off. Tashma, kalei l'shalmu mutar l'kalka v'shus harabim imeziku chayavon l'shalim Rabbi Yehuda Poter. It's a brisa that says that what? Kolei. Anything that you're allowed to do, you're allowed to put some kind of kilkul in v'shus harabim. Tanna Kamma says it's at your own risk. So here it does say that there are things you're allowed to do, but if it damages, you have to pay. And that's going to be very nice with our Mishnah. Even if you're allowed to do it, but you have to pay. Rabbi Yehuda Poter. Here it says farish, that not like the Gemara trying to get out of it only from a mitzvah. Rabbi Yehuda says even if it's from mitzvah, as long as it's rishus, as long as you're allowed to do it, if it damages, you don't pay. So now the Gemara thinks that our Mishnah cannot be Rabbi Yehuda, because our Mishnah says you have to pay. Rabbi Yehuda, the two Rabbi Yehudas together. One Rabbi Yehuda says that you're allowed to do it. The other Rabbi Yehuda says that if you whatever you're allowed to do, you're put. Okay. So that our Mishnah can't be Rabbi Yehuda. Bottom line, the Gemara still gets out of it. The Gemara will say that the Mishnah is talking about a case where you're not allowed to do it, even according to Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda himself only says that you're allowed to take it out in the right season, the time when people take it out. But if you put it out, so then Rabbi Yehuda also you're not allowed to do it. So the Mishnah is talking about when you're not allowed to do it.
So what's this last case? Rab
It's a
Yehuda.
Yehuda says
said
that,
that it can't be our mission
why? Because it says here that you're allowed to take it out
because you're allowed to take.
for 30 days. B'shas etzos v'olam.
And he
And
said, "Oh, it
have
was
you
us that
held-
said that you're fine."
we hold that if you damage your chayiv, but again, I'm not following. There's a Mishnah and there's two of Yehudas, and the Gemara says that the Hard they don't put together. Our Mishnah says that if you take out Tevin B'kash to Rishus Harabim and it damages your chayiv, you pay. And Rabbi Yehuda, one place says that you're allowed to take it out, and in another place he says whatever you're allowed to do, you put them.
Yeah.
So,
So how could he be our mission?
so our Mishnah came out. So the Gemara says Rabbi Yehuda also agrees that sometimes you're not allowed to take it out because he himself says B'shas etzos v'olam. He does says that the time, the season when people take it out, then you're allowed to take it out. But he also agrees that other times you're not allowed to take it out. So we'll say that Amish is talking about when you're not allowed to take it out. We're not saying
Could be. It could be.
it could be. So Amish could be Rabbi Yehuda. The Gemara is not denying that there is such a machlokes. That's the Brisa of the Kerish, that if you're allowed to do something, Tana Kamma says you're allowed to do it, but you're chayiv. Rabbi Yehuda says pater, and we have to hold on to this machlokes. There is such a machlokes.
There's a money.
But you don't see that Amish is Rabbi Tana Kamma. Amish could even be Rabbi Yehuda. The Ma'aser we're going to pass like the Tana Kamma anyway. We're going to pass like the Tana Kamma that you're chayiv even if you're allowed to do it. But you don't see that in our Mishnah because our Mishnah could be talking about if you're not allowed to do it. The Gemara could have also said after 30 days, but it wasn't much. It says Motzi. It doesn't sound like he waited there for 30 days. That also would be true. It also was after 30 days that he'd be chayiv. Ashi Amar, not a teretz. Tivno the kasho tanan mishum mishriki. That the non Mishnah Rabbi also holds you're not allowed to because Tevin and kasha are very slippery, and even he holds you're not allowed to put in just a before he just said that you're allowed to take out zevel. Mostly zivlo. Zivlo means that it's already fertilizer. It's not any more slippery. Maybe it's also the process to put kasha and Tevin and it became a little bit zevel. Whatever you put it in your field and you put it in the compost machine and a basket, whatever, and it became a little bit, then you're allowed to put it out into the street to become more stepped on because it isn't so slippery. But Rabbi himself also is when it's slippery, like kash v'teva, you're not allowed to put it out.
So what does Rashi say?
That you could say our Mishnah is Rabbi Yehuda because he also agrees that teva v'kash you're not allowed to put out because it's slippery. So why do we get out of the whole Gemara? Sometimes you're allowed to do things. You're allowed to put things in the Rishus Harabim sometimes. Sometimes you're not allowed to because it's very slippery, it's dangerous. And even when they allow you, maybe it's only certain times. So that's one issue. What are you allowed to do? There's another issue. Even when you're allowed to do it, does that mean that you're going to be potter if you're damaged? And that's a very machlokes. Rabbi Yehuda and Tana Kamma. Rabbi Yehuda says potter, and Rabbi Yehuda Tana Kamma says chayiv. And we pass like the Tana Kamma that even if you're allowed to do it, if you're damaged, you have to pay. A little chiddush. We pass even by Rishus mitzvah also. You're going to be chayiv to pay. But in their Chanukah, only Yehuda said,
Only
Rabbi Yehuda said, right, that we all, so it comes out that there is no real difference about Rishus mitzvah.
We ask in the person's chayiv.
Right, even in Chanukah. Because you're allowed to do it, but if it's going to damage, you have to pay. And it would be nice to stand over there and watch the Ner Chanukah. Not only for the oros, also that nobody should get the.
Well, how can you do that when you have to light and then run tomorrow? Then why do people do that? Because they're making a nezek in the middle of the street. And
No, they put it in a Chanukah. They put it in a box. It's not dangerous. It isn't. You put it in a box. It's not dangerous, but you just leave a flame.
It'll go out if you don't put it. Okay.
That's an advantage, a side advantage of the box.
A side advantage.
Also, we don't have camels that are passing by with fish ton. We don't have flammable things passing by.
Plastic.
Plastic.
Yeah, but it's not
It
gonna.
doesn't burn as much.
It's not gonna make
No,
it.
it's not. Well,
That's the point of interest that there's no real difference of mitzvah anymore because extreme. Rabbi Yehuda holds even if it's not a mitzvah, you potter as long as you're allowed to do it.
Even
Even if it's not a mitzvah, even if it's not a mitzvah, even though it's just rishus, you also potter. Rabbanan say even if it's a mitzvah, you're chayiv.
oh,
So it is interesting that Rabbi Yehuda did say rishus mitzvah over here because that wasn't his point. His point would be because it's a rishus. Yeah, he's just telling you why is it permissible because it's a mitzvah, but not that that's because it's a mitzvah. He would hold even if it's a rishus, as long as you're allowed to do it, even if it's not a mitzvah. Okay, so we have the halacha, like Tana Kamma,
so even Rishus is based in that did work.
right? The Gemara tried to get out of it, but the Gemara is stuck. But once the Gemara proves that the next verse says that we potter, even if it's not a mitzvah, so it's not.
It's just based in what are they giving you permission to
Sometimes it gives you permission to do things that are not mitzvahs, but you're allowed to do it by taking out your zevel to get stepped on to become compost.
Or to build a sukkah in the street. We're talking about like municipalities that give reshoots to do something that normally you wouldn't get.
Okay, and what's the din
It's like-
that is to?
If they damage, you have to pay. New sugya. Top of the page, Amud Beis. Islam Amud Beis. It says in the Mishnah that one thing we have to talk about that the whole Gemara is very the whole Gemara we just learned the Chara was ignoring a main point. It says in the Mishnah that Kol Kodem and Zacha. If you take out Tevin V'Kash, whoever wants still can come and take it. The Gemara could have proven from that you are not allowed to do it.
You're not allowed.
It can't be that you're allowed to take it out. It doesn't say you're allowed to take it out, and then people are allowed to take it. That's a contradiction to say that you're allowed to put it outside. But anybody can take it out. Take it away. The Chorah that's contradicts. Tyson says it will be a contradiction. So Tyson talks about how the Gemara talks about
that in the Mishnah.
In the Gemara. Tyson has a problem in the Gemara. The Gemara talks about if the Mishnah could hold the Gemara we just had now. The Gemara spoke about if it fits with the Rabbi Yehuda says you're allowed to do it. How could the Gemara think that the Mishnah holds you allowed to do it? If you're allowed to do it, you can't say that whoever wants to take it. That should prove that our Mishnah holds you not allowed to do it. Okay, we'll leave that as a kasha, and the Gemara seems to put that aside. So the Mishnah says that when someone puts out a seven b'kash, everybody will come and take it. Of course, the reason is a kanas, in order that not put out the seven b'kash. They're taking a big risk. They might lose the whole thing. They want to make it in. They want to make it into fertilizer. They might lose the whole thing because now Chazal said anybody can come by and take it. Amara ben begufan ben b'shvachan. Uzimi Amar b'shvachan avlo begufan. Machlokes Rav and Ziri how to understand the Mishnah when it says whoever wants to take it. Rav says they can take the whole thing, even the guf, not only the shevach. Means you put out hay and straw, it's worth $10. It became worth $12 because it became fertilizer. Someone passes by, you see somebody put out the cash with Tevin, is he allowed to take the whole thing? Rav says take the whole thing. Take the whole thing. Zimi says you're only allowed to take $2 worth. You're only allowed to take how much because that's really.
Well, why wouldn't it be b'shvachim? Once it turns to fertilizer, then you can take it. That's the way I do it.
No, that means that are you allowed to take the goof? Are you allowed to take the straw, the $10 worth that he put in? Only how much is worth more. If you make that people can take away
any of it, you're going to have to pay for the goof that you'll be able to keep.
You can't. You're not allowed to take the goof. You're not allowed to take it. The Balabais will be there and say, put it down.
How can you ever take the shvachim?
What?
How can you ever take the shvachim?
So I think you take $2 worth. You take the amount that it got improved. You put it out and it was worth $10.
If it's still Tevin, then how can you take $2 worth of
No, you can't. While it's Tevin, you can't. You're only allowed to take the shevach. You're not allowed to take it.
So once it's fertilizer, you can take $2 worth of the fertilizer.
Right.
You can't take all. I thought it meant you could take all the fertilizer. Once it's there and turned into fertilizer, the guy better pick it up, or he's going to get a canasta. The guy can take it.
I don't think
it's Tevin, and if people are trampling on it, you're not allowed to take any of it.
I think the more will be muchat and not like that. That the question is how much you're allowed to take. According to Rabbi, you can take everything. According to Ziri, you're only allowed to take the value of the improvement. Now, how do you do that? You can't slice it off. You can't slice off the value. It isn't like it became double. It just gets improved. It changes. So you take $2 worth. You take the amount that it got improved. You have to be a.
Once it's improved, you take.
Well, you take the value of the improvement.
Value of the improvement. Wow. Okay.
But Mike Mitzvah, what's the machlokas about? How come Rav says you're allowed to take the goof? Ziri says you may not. Rav said a concept gufan mishum shvachan. Ziri said a low concept gufan mishum shvachan. It seems that everybody would hold that really the only necessary knas is only the shevach. That's the value. That's the improvement. People wouldn't do it if they're if they're gonna lose the improvement anyway. What's the reason why he's taking it out in order to improve it? The improvement anyway is going to be taken away. The passers-by are going to take it away. So really, it's enough to make a knas on the shevach alone. But Zimi holds that when they make a knas, Rav holds, I'm sorry, when they make a knas, that's the way to make the knas. They say, take away the whole thing. They don't make this partial knas. Once they make a knas, they say, on the whole package deal. So it seems to be.
So which is the one?
Rab's the one who says you're allowed to even take the guf, and Ziri says you cannot take
So
the
what
guf.
is Rav Ziri's?
Ziri says,
guessing?
"Lo concept from the They didn't make a knas on the guf because they want to make a knas on the shevach. They want to make a knas on the shevach alone. Really, that's all Chazal really had to
So
do.
once it's Sheva, then we're making a Kanasti.
Not once at shevach. Once you're making a knas on the shevach. Oh, I'm sorry, Rab's going to once you're making a knas on the shevach, they made a knas on the guf also.
No,
Yes.
so I'm talking about Rav Ziri.
They only made a shevach. They only made it on the shevach. Like they
So
make a
once
reason.
it is Sheva,
Yeah, it's only
then the
because
Kanas is because now that it's improved, if you take it,
the knas is to deter the farmer from putting out his cash into the street. It becomes that.
oh,
That's what the knas is. We tell them if you're going to do that, you're going to get a penalty. What's the penalty?
okay,
We're going
it's
to
going to be on the Sheva. I see.
Right.
When-
So according to Rizzi, it's only after the Shabbat comes, and then someone's going to then people will be able to take the Shabbat. So it's a deterrent. Why should I bother taking it to the street if I'm going to lose it anyway? But Rab says that really you're right. That's the way. That's what we're really interested in, taking away the Shabbat. That'll be the deterrent. But the way we make a knas is not a package deal.
Well, according to Rav Ziri, I don't understand how it's a deterrent to put out the goof in the first place, because it's only going to be.
How is it going to be a deterrent if it's only going to lose the Shabbat? According to Ziri, it says only.
Yeah, and the Sheva you can only get once it's turned to fertilizer. So the
So,
guy
yeah,
must
but
be walking way around, but maybe
he's not. But he's not going to put it out because he's
you're
not
allowed
going
to
to.
do it for what 30 days.
You're not. We're talking about now if you're allowed to do it. We're saying you're not allowed to do it. Let's finish the Gemara that says you're not allowed to do it. In our Mishnah, the case is you're not allowed to do it. We're not talking about
He's just saying the Kanas is less.
right. No one's still saying you're allowed
I
to
would
do
say
it.
you're allowed.
Right. Everyone's saying you're not allowed to do it. If you'd be allowed to do it, no one's going to take it away. You can't say you're allowed to do it and people are going to make a knas. You can't make a knas for something that you're allowed to do. So our Gemara is going, you're not allowed to do it. Either because Tanakam holds you're not allowed to do it, against Abuda, even Abuda holds that Kash and Tevin because it's slippery or it's not Pashas itself. Well, for sure we're talking about you're not allowed to do it. How much of a knas did they make? Rav says total knas, take away the whole thing. And Zimi says only on the improvement, which is the real issue that we're interested in. Tanan, the Gemara thinks it has a raya. It says in our Mishnah, that's the Mishnah. It says if somebody turned over the golol, the
They
excrement.
revealed it. Meaning that they took the lid off. What does it mean?
Golol means excrement.
Oh, they turned over the dung.
That was in Rosh Hashanah. It was there. Some dogs passed by, some cows passed by, some horses passed by, donkeys. Is golol, and somebody turned it over.
Now it seems to me that the part on that they turned it over, then the part that when they turned it over, it's going to be more slippery because there was more moist what was near the ground. The top part dried, and now they're turning it over, and I think they're making a bigger mix-up.
So the Gemara talked about it before. That was yesterday's Gemara. Is it did he by picking it up and putting it down again? Did he take away the mikshal and put it down again, even if it wouldn't be worse than it is? The fact they took it away and put it back. So when he took it away, it wasn't a bore. Then he put it back, so he should be high. That might be one reason why he's high. Once he picks it up, even if it doesn't get more slippery, it says he is chayiv in the damages. That's what the Mishnah says. He's chayiv in damages. Why is he chayiv in damages? It was a bore before already. So if Yaakov was suggesting he made it worse, the Gemara says, "Oh, this pshatim." The Gemara says maybe because when he picked it up, now it's not a bore anymore. He didn't have to pick it up. Once he picked it up, he took away the bore. Now he put it down again, so he made a bore. That's one Gemara suggestion. Or the Gemara said he moved it to someplace else. So in the first place where the person who fell now, he fell in the second place that he put it. So now he made a bore. Another suggestion that when he picked it up, he made a kinyan on it. Now it belongs to him. Those are the suggestions the Gemara says yesterday. But what the Gemara wants to be medayik over here is that in contrast to the first case of the Mishnah where it says that everyone's allowed to take it, here it doesn't say everyone's allowed to take it. It doesn't say the same words that it says before. In the Resha it says kol men zacha. And here it doesn't. What's the difference? The Gemara thinks because golo, this excrement doesn't become shevach. Kash v'teven, it becomes compost. This is already compost. This is the sower.
Fuel.
Yeah, there's no. It means that also for
Ready to go.
fertilizer. Just put it into the field. You don't have to do anything to it anymore. It's already fertilizer. So there's no incentive. It doesn't, and there's no reason why you should do it. But the point over here is that it doesn't become better. The Gemara wants to be medayik. Why didn't they make a knas over here? It doesn't say in the Mishnah that you're allowed to take it. Everyone's allowed to take it. Why not? That's a kasha on Rav. According to Ziri, you know why it doesn't say it? Because there's no shevach. It doesn't get improved. According to Ziri, the only knas was to take the shevach. Here there is no shevach, so there's nothing to take. Very nice. It doesn't say kol kodem ben zacha because you're not allowed to take it. But according to Rav, that he said that you're allowed to take even the goof. So they should have said here that you're allowed to take it's a knas to take it also. That's a kasha on Rav. Rav who says that a knas is to take the whole thing, lock, stock, and barrel, even the goof on. So even if it doesn't make any improvement, everyone should be allowed to take it. The Gemara tries to get out of it and say that it's lav dafka. Down to the Reisha, within the Sefer. It doesn't have to say it twice. It says in the Reisha, kol kodem zacha. In the Sefer, it also means kol kodem zacha, even though it doesn't say it. The average eye would say it says it in the Reisha, does not say it in the Sefer. The Gemara says no. Make copy and paste. It's understood that here also you're allowed to take it. But the Gemara says the Bryce says Perish not like you. The Bryce is going to say that there's a difference between the Tevin Bakash and the Kala. But Tani Allah, the Bryce says, Asun Mishum Gezel. It says in the Brisa that you're not allowed to take it. It means the Brisa is even more explicit than they're not saying anything. It says Asun Mishum Gezel. That means that it's high v'nizgo, but you're not allowed to take it. It's the talking to the tzibor, and it says this gala that was turned over in the street, he's going to be high v'nizgo, and if something falls on it, but you're not. It's not hefker. You're not allowed to take it. So it's fair against Rab. And what's going to be the pshat? Because Ziri's right. And you're only allowed to take the shevach. Here there is no shevach, so you're not allowed to take the goof. So it's very Bryce on Ziri. The Gemara tries to get out of that also. The Gemara tries to get out of it, very difficult, and says that Asum Mishum Gezel means when the passerby picks it up, so he's allowed to, and you're not allowed to take it away from him. It's not talking about Asum Mishum Gezel that the person who made the bore, you're not allowed to take it away from him. We are allowed to take it away from him. And the person who picked it up and he's the lucky winner, you're not allowed to take it away from him. It means the farmer is not allowed to come, so to speak, and he wants to get back his. So we say, "So Mishum Gezel, I picked it up; it's mine." So it's very dochak, but the Gemara is trying. But now the Gemara says a Perish Brisa that says not like this pshat, and it's kodem kala kodem zacha in the first case, and the second case of Galal is not kala kodem zacha. But lo katana yachi, the Brisa says differently. The Tanan. This is a Mishnah, I guess it's a Brisa. The Hamotzi Tivno Bakasha Lushis of Abum Lisvalim, Muzik Ben Acher, Chai Benisko, V'chol HaKodem Ben Zacha. This is the Resha, but it says a couple of this is about word for word the Resha. Mutter Mishum Gezel. That's the extra words that it says in the Brisa that the Mishnah didn't say. Here it says Mutter Mishum Gezel.
Meaning
That everyone is allowed to take it.
He won't be considered stealing.
Right. The passerby picks it up. If someone put Tevin Bakash in the street, if someone's going to fall on it, Ruvain's going to have to pay. Anybody, Shimon, anybody, Levi, Yehuda, everyone's allowed to come and take it. And that's another way we emphasize. That's the way of repeating himself and saying, first come, first serve, and it's mutter to take, it's not considered stealing. Now it says, here it says that Gadol is different. It says that if someone turned over the excrement of Mishus of Rabbim, he's also going to be chayiv if someone gets damaged. But also Mishum Gezel, what does also Mishum Gezel mean over here? That you're not allowed to take it. In contrast to the ratio, where you're allowed to take it. You can't say also Mishum Gezel means that Kol HaKodem Zacha. Because when it says Kol HaKodem Zacha, it says Mutter Mishum Gezel. It doesn't mean that you're allowed to take it, and then you could everyone can grab from each other. It doesn't mean that. It means that
this is the kasha on the copy and paste.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't say that it means it for the sake. You
You
can't say
right.
it means
Right.
called them. So.
Right. So we finished asking the kasha on Rav, pointed Rav that says you're even allowed to take the goof. You should be allowed to even take the golem also. The Mishnah says with the right from the Brisa, the Mishnah says only the kasha and tevin you could take, but the golem you cannot take. And all the Gemara only understands according to Ziri. According to Ziri, you're only allowed to take the improvement. That's why by kasha tevin you could take. What could you take? The improvement. And golem you can't take because there is no improvement. But if you're allowed to take the goof, then even by golem you should be allowed to take the goof. Here comes the answer. I'm Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Golol karamis. Yes, in a kasha from golol, from an excrement.
What's karamis?
Are you throwing? Literally, are you throwing? To throw, but it means to throw a kasha.
Like to go up.
No, like rummy by the rubber. Like that's it's kasha. Rummy, right? Literally, the word means to throw, but it means I'm throwing something against something else. Throwing the Brisa, yeah. So asking a kasha from excrement, it's not a kasha on Rav. Double sheish bo shavach, kansu gu from mishum shiflo. Double shein bo shavach lo kansu. Rav only said that there's a knas when you're making a knas. It means the real knas, Rav also agrees. We said this in the beginning that Rav only says the real reason you should make a knas is only on the shevach. But once they did a package deal. But it's only when you make a knas. But here they didn't make a knas. Why? Because there is no shevach. You can say it a little differently. That the whole reason why they made the knas is only because he shouldn't improve it. He has a desire to improve it, so he's gonna. There's a word for it, not a desire, not incentive. He has something pulling him to do avera. What's that called?
Incentive.
Incentive. That's good enough. So he has the incentive. Yeah, it has incentive to put out the cash for Tevin because he wants to get improved. He wants to make that it's become fertilizer. But the sower, yes, but the sower he has no reason to do it because it's a finished product already. So there's no reason he should put it in the street. Maybe a small, but it's nothing significant. So therefore, Rav says there's no knas over here. I only said when there's a knas on the shevach, the knas goes also on the group. But there is no knas on the shevach because there is no shevach. So there's no incentive that he should do it in the first place. So there's no reason to make a knas. So Rav is safe.
Okay. And we were talking, why were we talking about the guy that turned it over? Why didn't we just talk about the guy who put it out in the first place? Okay.
Maybe that will be pushing.
Maybe,
Maybe that will be. The more yesterday had a couple of issues about this
maybe
Galolo head.
just like the camel, just
That's the case. The case is that the animals defecated in the street, and now he came and he was hoping.
kept going. So then he's muffed it, and then he just left it.
We're not talking about the owner of the animal. It could be hefker animals also. We're talking. Does a person have to walk after his animals to make sure they don't defecate in the street? I don't know. I don't think so. Probably when it says the ox allowed to go in the street, then they defecate. That's the life of old. Now the new modern days is different. But in those days, or even nowadays, what do they do? They have police horses. They also, that's what happens. So that's considered mutter. But the one who picks it up, he wants to get it. So he tone it, or he put it someplace else, or he put it. So then he's high. Okay, so and the kash, it's not a kash on Rav because over there is no reason to make a knas. And there's no knas on the shevach, so you don't make a knas on the guf. So we have now machlokus between Rav and Ziri, still the same machlokus. According to Rav, even take the knases that people are allowed to take even the guf. According to Ziri, they don't allowed to take the value of the improvement. I like to put this in parentheses because it makes it a little bit clearer. This is just to show that the next Gemara is going to be not connected to this. A question they had. The Divrei Omer comes to Guf and according to Rav, that says that they also made a knas on the guf, not only on the improvement, even on the actual thing that he put out. The alter kansinan when does the knas get activated? As soon as he puts it down, he put down the cash for Tevin, $10 worth. Can people already come and take it? Or only after it improves, then they could take the whole thing. So this is what Lev Yaakov was talking about before, but you said you were talking in Rav Ziri, here we're talking in Rav. Rav says they're allowed to take the guf also. Ziri says you're not allowed to take the guf at all. You just can take the value of the improvement. According to Rav, that you're allowed to take even the guf. Is that immediately, even before it produced improvement, or only after it made some improvement, then you're allowed to take the whole thing?
Is my seed word to fell?
When it brings, yeah, when it brings improvement. According to what he says that they made a knas on the guf together with the shevach. Did they make that knas immediately? Alter kansina? Oh, only when it brings the shevach kansina. Only once it produces the improvement, then they made a knas on the guf also. Question in Rav, how Rav will say Tashma. So this is a later Gemara that's analyzing earlier on
the question on Rav.
Yeah, it's not a kasha, it's a she'ela. It's a she'ela according to Rav. How does he learn the knas? He says the knas
on the guf. Did
right.
Mean
immediately?
Anytime?
Even before produced improvement?
Only after. Okay.
Toshma. So the Gemara's going to be a right, not from was not being a right from our kasha. This kasha here. This kasha. Let's make it in kasha form. Tanan. This was the kasha. It says in the Mishnah that by golol also by excrement, the one who picked it up, put it down, is chayiv. But it doesn't say over there kol hakodim zacha. Why not? According to Rav, that you're allowed to take the guf. It should have said over there also that you're allowed to take the knas. They made a kol hakodim zacha. That was the most kasha on Rav. The Gemara thought it had a kasha right from this Mishnah that Rav is wrong. Because if you're allowed to take the guf, then it should have said the case of the knas, not only in the first case of the kasha and teben, it should have said it by the case of the golem also. That was a kasha on Rav. Good. And the Gemara says the one who asked the kasha obviously held that the knas is right away. Because if the knas doesn't get activated until there's improvement, here there is no improvement because the golem doesn't improve. So the kasha wouldn't have been a kasha if we understood Rav that the knas doesn't get activated until there's some improvement. Then you can take the whole thing. Before the shevach, before it improved, you're not allowed to take the guf. So this kasha wouldn't have been a kasha. Is it making sense? Rav says you're allowed to take the guf. The Gemara kasha on him. If so, how come it doesn't say you're allowed to take the golol also? The Gemara said a terrace to this kasha. Let's underline the terrace also. Took a while to get there. Let me just get rid of this. And the answer is going to be, so this was Amr of Nachman by Yitzchak. This was a terrace. The kasha was according to Rav that if the ktas even on the guf, so how come the Mishnah doesn't say that you're allowed to take that the kol kodem zocha in the excrement also? It must be because the knas is only on the shavach and there is no shavach. And the Gemara answers, Rav Nachman Yitzchak answered at the end that they didn't make a knas only if there's shavach, but if it doesn't produce shavach, they didn't make a knas. Either because it's a package deal, and when there's a Shabbat, then they made a class on that, they made a class on everything, or the Pashan Gemara is maybe because there's no incentive for him to do it in the first reason, he doesn't need a deterrent, because it's not going to make Shabbat anyway. That was the Gemara's teretz. But the Gemara's now is focusing on the Kasha. What was the Gemara's Kasha? That according to Rav, they should have said that you're allowed to take the Golol also. The Gemara wants to prove that Rav Shita, that the one who has the Kasha at least, must have held that according to Rav, you're allowed to take the Guf even before it produces. Because if you're not allowed to take the guf until it produces shavach, kasha wouldn't have been the kasha. It's true. I hold that you're allowed to take the guf. That's only the shavach comes. Before the shavach comes, you are not allowed to take the guf. So the kasha wouldn't have been the kasha. Is everybody happy? Or to do it again?
We're on a question.
Sorry, I'm gonna need it one more time.
I'm sorry?
You're asking if we understand the question?
No, we're in a raya at this point. There's this point, this pink over here was a kasha on Rav. There's a kasha on Rav before.
Yeah.
Rav said you're allowed to take the guf. The Gemara kasha, if you're allowed to take the guf, so why doesn't it say so? Why doesn't it say by golol also you're allowed to take the guf?
And so they said because when there's no shabbat, it's already shabbat, so you don't need to.
No, the answer is that there's no shavach. So when there's no shavach, I think that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Now the Gemara is not. There was a kasha with a teretz.
Yeah.
And this now is going to be a she'ela. Iboilahu is a she'ela. Yeah. It's not a kasha. It wants to. It's a how do they call it? An inquiry. It's a asking what is Rav, according to Rav that says the allowed to take the guf also. Is that only after the shavach is produced, or even before the shavach is produced? I think Gemara wants to bring a raya
From the question.
From the fact that there was such a kasha.
From the kasha. Okay.
This kasha shows that whoever has the kasha held that Rav would say that you're allowed to take it even before it produces. Because if you're not allowed to take the guf only after it produces the shavach, there's no kasha because it didn't produce any shavach yet. It's never going to produce shavach. But if always Rav only holds that you're allowed to take the guf only after the shavach comes, so then he wouldn't have had a kasha on Rav over here because the shavach didn't come yet. It must be that he understood that Rav holds that you're allowed to take the guf right away, and therefore he said take the guf. And that the Gemara answered, since there's no shavach, they didn't make a knas on the guf either. But at least we can bring a raya from the kasha that Rav held you're allowed to take the guf right away. That was the Gemara's raya. Dashma with the kairina and golo. Period. That's the whole. It's very short, but that's since we have a kasha. I'm not sure what the word kairina means to ask a kasha. With the karamina. since we asked the kasha from Golo. Since we asked the kasha from Golo, that shows that the Maksha held that Rav would hold it. You're allowed to take the gold, you're allowed to take the goof even before the Shavach is produced. But the Gemara says, you're making a mistake in your calculations. But Tisbero, Kia Viran Golo, we come with the Lishni Rav Nachman. The boss of the Shani Rav Nachman, Mika, the Mira Golo Plow. The Gemara says very poetically, I think, that the Gemara said the kasha only before the teretz. After the teretz, there is no kasha anymore. It means our she'ela is only after the Gemara's answered. It's true, we wouldn't have had our iboya at the time of the kasha. But once we said the answer, the kasha is no more. Rashi says, once we know Ziri, now we have a Shana. When we did Ziri, then there was a Kasha on Rav. And we would have asked our Shana because we would know that the Kasha held that Rav holds of the Kanas even before the Shabbat comes. But now we're in the Teretz already. And after the Teretz, that Rav didn't make a Knas on something that doesn't have Shabbat. So now we have a right to ask a question. When something does have Shabbat, did he make the Kanas immediately or only after the Shabbat comes?
We thought we had an answer because they asked him Golo.
Right. So we're saying, you're right. At that point, when we asked the Kasha, and we didn't know the answer yet, so the Maksha held that Rav would have made the Knas right away. He thought that even things that don't have a Knas, he was extremely, he didn't notice that. He thought that even things that don't have a Shabbat, also they made a Knas. The opposite of this. This is the teretz. So they didn't make a Knas on something that doesn't produce Shabbat. That's the answer. That's the answer. The Kasha didn't hold it. That's why he asked the Kasha. It means the Kasha is the opposite of the teretz. The teretz, when you ask the Kasha, you didn't have the teretz yet. The teretz is going to be that it's something that doesn't have Shabbat, they didn't make a Knas. The Maksha held that something that doesn't have Shabbat, they did make a Knas. And obviously he had held even before it comes. Because it's never going to come.
How much the Knas? You don't know how much the Sheva.
If you're going to make a Kanas on the whole thing,
yes,
because of the Sheva, then of course you should be able to take the goof. If you're going to be able to take goof, then that's before there's any Sheva. So it's obviously you take it from the Sheva. Is that right?
If you, yeah, I think I got what you said. That if this Maksha held that you eat something which doesn't make Shabbat, they also made a Knas. Obviously, you take it before the Shabbat comes because it's never going to come. So you're right. The Maksha held like that. But after the answer says that there's no Knas on something that doesn't have Shabbat, we're only talking about something which has Shabbat, which the Maksha didn't know that. The Maksha thought that there's a Knas even something that doesn't have Shabbat.
Oh,
that's what he thought.
So the Kasha still stands. I mean,
the She'ela still stands.
She'ela still stands.
Period.
That's what that answer was.
That's what this V'tisbro is.
Tashma mitikayirinen galo.
That's the kasha. That's the raya. The fact that the maksha, this is the Avinan Golo. This thing is Avinan Golo. This was the kasha that the Gemara on Rav, that you see that there's no knas on the excrement. There's a raya that Rav's wrong, that they didn't make a knas on the goof. If they make a knas on the goof, they should have made a raya on the knas on the Golo. It's true, the one who held like this, he didn't hold the teretz. He didn't know the teretz yet. He thought they made a knas even on something that doesn't make any shabbat. So of course you're right that you don't have to wait till the shabbat comes to take the goof, because it's never going to come. And he held that's what he held. But once the Gemara says the teretz that Rav only made the knas on something, Rav holds is only a knas, something which is going to produce shabbat. So now we have right and to ask, is the knas going to be even before the shabbat comes? Did I say it right? And the
fact that we asked the kasha, doesn't you said this? We asked the kasha,
right?
We asked the kasha on Golo
means that we
say that our kasha was
that
why
according,
didn't you say
right?
Why did the Golo?
Right. At that point, we surely held. We thought that Rav's going to learn the Knas even on something that doesn't produce any Shabbat. So you're right. At that point, you don't have to wait till the Shabbat comes, because he holds that even on something which doesn't have any Shabbat, there's also a Knas. But once we said the teretz, that Rav is only going to say that there's a Knas on something which is produced Shabbat, so then the Kash is off, and now we're asking, a she'ela, is the knas going to be even before the Shabbat comes? So that's the Gemara ends off that we have no raya.
Well, wait, did you get to the tzitzis, bro?
The answer, but this was going to be the answer now.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think me? Right. When did we ask the kasha from Golol? Only before the teretz. The kasha was before the teretz. But after the teretz, there's no kasha. The boss of the Shani of Nachman after the teretz, did we ask the kasha? We didn't ask the kasha after the teretz. Like any time we have a kasha teretz, every teretz is only after the kasha is before the teretz. So before we
So it's not approved.
So it's not approved, right? And therefore, we end off that we don't know the answer. According to Rav, that says that there's a knas also on the roof. Is that right away? Someone putting cash for Tevin. Right away, as you see it, you're allowed to take it, but you have to wait till you get some improvement, and then you're allowed to take the whole thing.
Okay.
How is the issue good? There's Machlok Zimi and Rav. If the knas is even on the goof, and the Gemara ends off with a question, not a kasha, with a question according to Rav.
The initial value.
Here's the thing you put down straw and it becomes fertilizer, and it's worth $2 more. Put down $10 worth of hay, and it became worth $12 of fertilizer. So Rav says you like to take the whole thing. Is that only after it has improved, or right away? As soon as you put it down, you're allowed to take the whole thing. Once it comes to improvement, you're allowed to take the whole thing. According to Rav, according to Zimi, even after improvement, you're allowed to take the improvement. But according to Rav, that you're allowed to take the whole thing, is that only after it improves, then take the whole thing, or maybe even before it improves, you can take whatever you want.
We don't know.
Right? Back to the subject. So I put in parentheses to show that we're not going on this. We're going back on the issue of Zimi and Rav and Zimi back to the beginning. Is there a knas on the goof also? So the Gemara brings a nice comparison, which has nothing to do with us. Let us say that it's to know this issue. When they made a knas, did they make a knas even on the goof or only on the improvement? Such a nice comparison. Somebody borrowed money, lent money for rivers. Somebody lent money for interest, and you're not allowed to. So, also when they go below rivers. The Meir says you tear up the shtar, and he can't even get back his initial loan. He lent him $1,000 for.
It's written in the shtar. It's $1,000 loan. You'll pay me back $1,100.
Right. So we tear up the shtar, and you don't get anything.
That's really.
And that's like Rav. Right? That means that you make the knas on the goof also, make it good for the principle, not just on the improvement. Mamish, very nice. And Chachamim go us again. The only knas is you're not allowed to collect the rivers, but the Karen didn't make a knas. Sounds like they didn't make a knas at all. That's not knas. It's knas.
Now that everybody.
So we allowed to stop him from collecting rivers. They're just thinking that maybe they'll just not knas at all. But the models look like that.
You're saying you can collect that. You can pay him back 1,000.
You have to pay him back 1,000. We tell the Malva you have a right to collect 1,000.
You don't have a right to get.
Right. And the Gemara sees that that's similar
that's
to
like a knas.
Right. So I'm not sure why it's a knas. That's that footnote. Is that a knas? But okay.
When he gets back his money for taking the loan, the money that he.
Whatever you left.
Right. Why is it a knas? Because he already had dreams about the extra hundreds of dollars that he's gonna go and.
I would have thought
he has a shtar that he owes him that $100. So the knas is.
Yeah, but we say you're not allowed to take rivers. So he says I want to take rivers anyway. So we say. You're not allowed to take rivers.
Oh, so it's a really knas.
So I would have thought of that, but the Gemara looks at it like there's a knas. I didn't realize this before, but I would ask, is that a knas? They're saying not allowed to take rivers. Okay, but let's go with the Gemara that it's a kind of a knas. And how big is the knas? Does the knas make that you even are going to stop him from taking the principal back? So that sounds like Rav. Rav made a big knas. And that sounds like Rav Meir.
How big was your knas?
Even the Karen,
Even this.
They take away the straw. He put down $10 of straw. According to Rav, you take they take the whole thing. Like Slack and Bar. They also he did something wrong by charging knas, charging rivers, so we take away the whole thing. The whole loan is bottle. Lema Rav Damakir of Meir. Rav who says that he made a knas even on the goof. Hozak of Meir that they made a knas even on the Karen. Ziri Damakir of Banan. Ziri holds like Rabban the knas. You don't make on the goof, only on the thing that you did wrong. Only on the improvement.
not on the pennies.
On the Tosefet, on the addition, not on the Karen.
Zero help just by the.
Just take the shevach. He also just take the away the ribbis, but don't take away the Karen. So now the Gemara is going to say it's not interdependent. Each one could hold like they're not comparable. I'm
Each
Rav,
one could justify.
the other opinion. Rav, who says that he made a knas on the cash also.
This example case is working on Yisrael. In the first case, he worked on Heter. He was allowed to put the cash in.
He wasn't allowed to.
He was allowed to, but he'd have to pay the rent.
No, that's sugi before. On a case, the knas is only when you're not allowed to do something. There's no knas on something that you're allowed to do. If you're allowed to put it down, no one's going to tell you to say anybody can take it. So we're talking about when you're not allowed to do it.
Right now, we're gonna say that Rav, who said the kanas is on the whole thing, still might hold that you only pay 1,000.
Right.
That you do
have to pay 1,000.
That you do have to pay 1,000, just not the.
You say you take that the knas even on the cash can hold like the rabbanon that you do have to pay back the ikr loan. Ad kan lekam rabbanon hasim mele keren de betera avalocha keren gufa kamazik. By the ribis, there was no issa to lend $1,000. This was only to ask back for the extra $100. So they didn't make a knas on the thing that you did beheter. But over here, you want the keren that you put the straw into the street. That's the problem. That's the mazik. So they made the knas on the whole mazik. But I'm not going to be so extreme to say that you're going to take away the some loan. That some loan was a kosher loan. It was a beautiful loan. He lent him $1,000.
But taking rivers, it was initially in the loan.
No, but giving a loan is something that.
Giving a loan is a nice thing. The problem is only
contaminated the
so we'll take away the contamination, but nothing was wrong with the loan. By the keren, the problem was by the cash. The problem was he put cash in the street. So when they make the knas, they take away the whole damager. The whole thing is a damager. There's more spara. What?
It's all contamination.
There was a contamination.
Which one? They put the cash in the end.
You put the thing into the street. People could fall.
So what happened to Yeshua? We don't worry about that.
No, that was a sugi before. You have to go. Yeah, no. That's when you're allowed to do it. There's something that you're allowed to do. Things you're not. Things you're not allowed.
Excuse me.
Why? Because it's slippery. Because it's not the right season,
right.
or because you left it too long. Whatever the case is.
All those places where you don't have this condition.
So those are the words that Rav says over there. Rabbanan say because it was mutter to give the loan, but over here the keren itself is the mazik. That's one way. The Rav could hold even like the Rabbanan. The other way now, first white line, Ziri said that only made the knas on the improvement, not on the principle. He could say here maybe another I feel of I can also like a mayor that they made the knas on the whole loan and you don't get anything back. Why? I'd come to come Rav Meir Hasan rather than Mishas Ksiva double summa. This word is rid of sin, summa, which Rashi says. That only over there that the whole thing was an avera. As soon as it made the contract that you owe me $1,100, there's an avera being done. So therefore they made a kanas on the whole thing. But over here, even though we put down the cash, which you're not allowed to, but it's only dangerous, means only where the damage is. But it didn't damage it. By the ribis, the avera was done right away. Just Pasuk says those siman of neshech. Don't place on neshech. Not only don't collect neshech. Don't place on him. Placing on him is the avera. Here also, I don't understand exactly because you're not allowed to put the damage, you're not allowed to put it in the street either. You don't just say, make sure you don't damage. We're going to say also don't put it in the street. So I don't understand exactly. But here the Gemara says it's not as big because it might not damage. The avera of ribis is as soon as you charge the ribis, that's the avera. So they made a knas on the whole thing. But here, if anybody can help, here, I don't know how to say it. As if to say,
because it might come out something bad.
Writing this number is already allowed.
Let's say
Already allowed.
and it's not allowed to put out a bore,
if you would know that it's not mazik, then
then it wouldn't be a bore, but it's a bore. Am I allowed to put a bore?
You
said
that.
It's not a lot.
It's not allowed?
How good would you?
Because it doesn't say
say
so.
that. It's not like one says. One says they're putting it out itself. Let's say you put it out and it's himself. No one fell.
Okay.
So
Did he do an avera? Did he do an
something
avera?
wrong?
It's true that it doesn't say lo sichre bor. It says kif tachish bor here. So he has to pay. But it can now we can ask in the whole Pashas Mishpatim, all the Bava Kamma. Are you allowed to do it? So that's the first shiurim that they say in the yeshivas. Is there an issa to be mazik? Hashabbos Aveda,
No, I think that,
all
like,
kinds of
before,
shit.
in a mixture, you could put a sign up or put a.
Then it's not a mixel. Then it's not a mixel.
If they can read, is it blind?
Then it's not. You're saying cases that you're allowed to do it. It's not a
Same
mixel.
language.
Probably it's not a mixel there. They make a manhole and they put a so yeah, it's no mixel.
Okay.
So I don't understand the Gemara so well, but the Gemara says that ribus is worse maybe because there's avera to charge the ribus. So since he did avera by charging the ribis, so then he made on
It's
the whole.
more of an invariant. It's more of an invariant.
Why does it say that? Then why is that Shas over line of sin?
It's initial, in its initiation.
The Gemara said the overlay sunnah means the Gemara is being machadish that the Isser of Ribbis is when he makes up that he has to give. That's the Lisa. What's Lisa Simon on Neshach?
Writing the
What
stars.
does it mean Lisa Simon on?
He's already
Take
causing
the
damage.
Hashem came by,
Don't make that he should have.
and I would have said, putting down the board is not very. You're not going to say that. I want to know the other side. That putting down the board is not that very.
It seems like Rebbe Zera is this Rebbe Zera?
Zeiri.
Rebbe Zeiri.
Zeiri.
Is thinking about the damage. So as soon as you write it, the star, you cause damage.
What's the damage?
You're gonna, it's putting $100 extra.
He didn't collect it yet.
No, it's already in the thing.
Writing the stars. What do you want?
It's another. Okay, so I just want to know the other side. This part I got. I want to know the other head. But by a bore,
Did it really damage yet? So
it didn't damage. But you're allowed to do it. You're not allowed to do
It's
it.
less of an issue. No?
Okay.
It's not.
I don't see that in the Gemara. Zev, this is a very chamura. Shekain, ain't come to Chesed Mason. Like, I don't see that. Okay, I'm just asking a question. It's a footnote I'm doing. The words of the Gemara is that here, by the Ribis, he did Avera from the time that he wrote it. From the time that he wrote it, that's Avera. But over here, who says it's going to be Mazik?
That's why by Ribbis we'll do the
Whole thing,
Karen also.
even the Karen, the whole thing, whole owner's over.
your own.
Over here, only on
That's
Sheva.
and that's even zero. That's even zero.
Zivi's talking that I could hold even like Rabbi Meir. But Meir says that not L'Chafir. Meir says that. But Meir says that Knas by Ribis is to take away the whole loan.
Does he talk about Kashan Tevin?
Okay, let's talk about it. Zivi talked about it, and he wanted to say I can reconcile myself together with Meir. Meir could agree to me. So that Gemara tried Lema Ketano, it didn't work. The Gemara tries again. Lema Ketano.
What's the Lema mean?
Let us say. Let us say.
That's to
same
say.
as Kahani, like these.
Kahani Tano. Let's say it's like these Tano. The first Tano we didn't find, but let's say these following Tano. Hamotzi, here goes a brisa. Hamotzi tivna b'kasha v'shus rabim mizvolim. Buzik ben acher. Chai ben nisko. B'chol kodem ben zocha. V'asum mishum gezel. So far as the Mishnah, we're also with a little bit of addition. Asum mishum gezel had it before also. If someone took out a straw and hay to v'shus rabim to make it into zevel, and somebody got damaged, you got to pay. Okay, and also there's a knas. First come, first serve. Whoever wants to take it, to take it. And asum mishum gezel. That doesn't make sense. These words don't make sense. So I got to make these words that they don't make sense.
Sounds
Sounds
like maybe he took it before the Sheva.
lines up.
If he took it before the Sheva, he'd be stealing. But if once it's Sheva,
Oh,
doesn't
but
make
yeah, so you're saying a pshat, you're saying a terror.
I'm saying it's
So so far these two things contradict each other. So Kodem and Zacha, whoever wants to take it, but you're not allowed to take it. You may take it, but you may not take it. Doesn't make sense. So far, say it was Bava Kamma that he says he's allowed to do it. Bava Kamma didn't say he's allowed to do it. Here he said, no, he doesn't even say allowed to do it. Let me read that. Whoever damages in Rosh Hashanah, put some kind of kilkel in Rosh Hashanah and it damage, you got to pay. Okay. He's very nice. That whoever wants to take it can take it, and you're allowed to take it. Okay, that's good. You're allowed to take it. You're allowed to take it. Makes sense. But here it says you're allowed to take it. You're not allowed to take it. Agufa kasha. It's intrinsically, inherently, whatever, contradicting itself. That means that you're allowed to take it. But you're not allowed to take it. Doesn't make sense. So it's already highlighted. That doesn't make sense. It must mean that you have to make some kind of a pshat. You're not allowed to take the shevach. You are allowed to take the guf. That'll be you are allowed to take the shevach, and you're not allowed to take the guf. You're allowed to take it. Why are you allowed to take it? You're allowed to take the shevach. Don't take the guf. So ziri, that to fit into ziri. Tana Kamma can be like ziri. Otherwise, Hashem Gamliel say it's mutter, it's mutter. Afilu gufa nami kol kodem and zacha. That's going to be a rav that you ought to take everything. That's what the Gemara thinks is a ketanoi. So the Gemara is going to see if it can reconcile anybody. The ziri baratanoi. Ziri cannot reconcile himself and say everybody holds like me. It means he has no way how to. Ziri is the one who says
Only the Sheva.
Right, so he could say, I hold like the Bava Kamma,
Chacham.
like the Chachamim, which is he's okay with that. I hold like the Chachamim, but he can't
Wasn't he
recommend.
not like tonight?
He has to say that he can't get out of saying that it's a machlokes tanon. The Gemara suggests it's a machlokes tanon.
Well,
So
for
the Gemara
sure
says,
it is,
according to you, he
because
has to, you're right. According to Ziri, you're right. That Ziri cannot reconcile himself with the Shimon
Because
Gamliel.
he could only be the son of God.
Right, because if Shimon Gamliel says it's mutter, and he says something is usher, he can't get out of that. But the Rav, do we have to say that according to Rav also that machlokes tanon, and he only holds like Rav Shimon Gamliel, that everything is mutter? Is it possible for him to learn the brisa that everybody holds like him? The Gemara says, yes, I'm Rav. I can say everybody else like me that you're allowed to take everything. So what does this words mean? You're allowed to take it, you're not allowed to take it. They're arguing if we paskin, even though it's mutter to take, do we announce that you're allowed to take it? Or it just means to say if somebody takes it, he didn't do an avera. I mean, sometimes we say that there's a certain halacha, but we don't want to publicize it. That's the halacha. Between me and you, that's the halacha. But when someone comes to ask a question, we don't tell them that. So that might be the machlokes. Kol hakodem menzacha means that whoever takes it has a right to take it, but we're not going to pass. But we say asa. We say don't take it. If you took it, we'll say okay, you're allowed to keep it. And therefore, we can say that the Bryce is not talking about our subject at all. If you're allowed to take the cat, yeah, you're allowed to take everything. The shevach, the guf, you're allowed to take everything. But we don't tell people that you're allowed to take it. Ditma, Arab, Allah bein morin kain. About the Barav Amar, Allah morin kain. Machlokes, if you're allowed, if you paskin that way, even paskin means if you publicize this when people come to ask. Rav says that even though that's halacha, but don't tell people. You don't want people. You're making a knas. What's the purpose of the knas? That people should not want to put it out. It's enough to deter if he's going to know that someone could take it, even though most people won't take it because you don't want to publicize this halacha. About the Rav says no. Halacha morin kain. You're allowed to publicize it. Tell people that you're allowed to take it. So therefore, Rav says that's found in machlokes up in the brisa. As nothing to do. We don't say anything about shavach and guf, and I say that you're allowed to take the guf also.
Wait. So Rav, I did get that.
Rav could say that the brisa, these
Yeah,
peculiar words are not talking about shavach and guf. You're allowed to take everything. There's no difference between shavach and guf. You're allowed to take everything. The statement means to say that whoever takes it, but we don't tell him to take it.
It has nothing to do with his canals. It has nothing to do with his position on the canal.
Right. It's not talking about what you're allowed
It's
to
not
take.
talking about that. It's
You're allowed to take
something we
everything.
don't publicize.
Right. Now, I think,
And the other one.
and the other one says that you'll even publicize it. We say mutter mishum gezel. Rav Shem Gamliel says that you're allowed to publicize it. You say Allah morin kain.
And it's not talking about a kanas.
It is talking about a knas. The knas is take it, and we put
Take
up a
the
sign.
whole Rav is like Rebbe Shimon down there.
Rav will like Tana Kamma.
No.
It can be like both.
Rav himself says a morin kain. Oh
You
yeah, he
get
says
that.
right.
It can be like
The Rav
both.
about right. Rav about
Rav
the
can be
good
like
and the
both
shavach.
here. That's why it's the only Rebbe say would say it's tonight.
Right, because
Rav could be like this and say, no, they're just talking about
if
the
you're allowed
law
to
is you can take it, but you can't. And the other person says you can't take anything, which is like what I say.
No.
Other one says you can take everything. He says
Torah
let's
Gezel, that's because it's like a kanas. So it's like Rav.
again. This is the two opinions here, right? Tana Kamma, he says kol kodem menzacha asa mishum gezel. He says kol kodem menzacha mutter mishum gezel. So what are they arguing about? So Rav will say they're arguing about if we're morin kain or not. Do we publicize this Allah that you're allowed to take it? Tana Kamma says we tell people don't take it, and Rav Shimon says we tell people do take it. Who knows if you took it, you took it. They will mafkir it. You're allowed to take it. If I made a knas, you're allowed to take it. But do we tell people that you're allowed to? Do we say yes, go ahead, you're allowed to, or we say no?
But the green isn't that because it's kanas?
Everybody's talking about a knas. The whole thing is a knas. The whole issue is talking about a knas. That we tell people that it's mutter to take. Ruvain put his personal cash.
I said the first part of the pink is a kanas, but we don't. We tell people we don't.
Right, right.
I see. So they're both talking like Rav.
Rav, they're not
Rav
talking.
can say there's nothing. It's not my problem.
Right, that's not the issue. It doesn't talk about this. It's a different subject. On a different. It's a different movie. It's not. It's a different song.
They're arguing something. They're not arguing about what I'm arguing.
Right. I think I wrote down. I think I had in my notes that this issue was only on the guf. This machlokes of morin kain and morin kain is only on the guf. Huh? That was the bottom Tosfos. So it comes out,
Ain't
well,
smart.
it comes out in smart. It comes out that according to Rav's way,
They have to be talking about the character.
dafka the goof, right? Dafka the goof.
Because if not,
No one will say that you're not allowed to. Okay. Not anymore. Once you, in this case, everything's fine. There's Rav and Ziri, Machlokes, if you're allowed to take it, at the end, Ziri has to give in that it's a Machlokes Tanon, and he's going to pass like the Rabbanan. And Rav says, no such Machlokes, everybody else like me, that you're allowed to take even the goof. Once the Gemara mentions Machlokes about Morin King and Morin King, so that the Gemara goes off on a little tangent. So it comes out, Machlokes, if you're, and we're going to say now, everyone is going to Rav, that you're taking the goof also. And that's the question, if we publicize the psak or not. The bottom line. So who said that you're not allowed to? Rav Huna Merav. And Avad Rabba said that you may. Any Rav Huna, that's Rav Huna. Hey, Rav Huna. Rav Huna Merav. He probably looks like his Rebbe. And Rav Huna himself, after Chushli, he was the Rav of the Dayan, and he said that somebody put out Chushli, somebody put out Sahorim, Klufim, he put out
What is
Chushli,
This seems
Rashi,
like Sarin
Klufim.
Klufin.
Shell barley.
Which should have the same din as the kashrut.
As
Which should have the same din as kashrut.
these people, there's some you have to say some kind of a reason why people should put it out. Why should people put it out? And I would think for sure
They
no.
put it out to dry.
They put out to dry in the Rishus Harabim. In the Rishus Harabim. But it has no reason over there. He had a reason to put Rishus Harabim because he wants people to traffic to step on it. Here he doesn't have any reason to put in Rishus Harabim. He doesn't want people to step on it.
Maybe that's a benefit.
He doesn't have room in his huts here. He doesn't have a hut.
He doesn't really have any incentive to put it out. It's not. I don't. You know, that's a kasha. I didn't realize.
Why do you say that? Maybe there is a-
Right. There's no
maybe there is
class.
a reason. We don't know.
Okay. So the Rav Huna, he said anybody can take it, which is another way of saying Morin King.
because he was mafkir, that means that he told people.
Tell
to
people,
take it.
and you take it. And Rav Huna himself said, "Ain't Morin King." How come he's mafkir it? He could have taken it himself, but he shouldn't have told people this psak.
The shell valley.
Yeah. How come he
He's
announced?
got too much grains and he's got nowhere to put it. It just shuts it into the truth around it.
We're talking about something that there should be a knas that kol hakodim ben zacha. And Rav will say you're allowed to take even the goof, but Rav said that you don't tell people to do that. And here Rav Huna himself told people to do it. That's going to be the kasha. Rav Huna says ain't Morin Ken, and he himself was Morin Ken. It happens to be also Rav Barava, who was other Damar. He also had a story, and he did l'shitasa. Rav Barava afka slikusta. There was somebody put slikusta into the Rosh Hashanah. Solas itzurei tomorrow. There's nachmina shecher tomorrow. Something about
Shmorim.
Pressed? What is
what's that?
Shimrei shecher tomorrow.
Itsure?
Oh,
Pressed? Itsure.
Okay. Itzurei means when you press dates. So you take to get the out whatever you want to get out, the silan, whatever you want to get the juice.
Yeah.
So whatever's left over, the psolas is called slikusta.
Uh-huh.
The other pshat is that it's the shmorim of the shecher. Okay, and you give it for a donkey. Okay, whatever the pshat is, something
If you
that's
say-
what something that also wants to dry out. That's say the same thing as an incentive to put it out. You have to make it the Torah. Then you made a knas. And Avad Rav says, like Rav, that even on the goof, even on the goof was nice, but also shitasa that you're allowed to be mafkir with. Bishlam Avad Rav Kishmatei is the shitasa that says that to public Morin King. But El Rav Huna Leim B'Hadar Bey, the Rav Huna retract his halacha that says that you are allowed a Morin King. How come he was mafkir with? The paskin say that you're allowed to declare the psak. The answer is Anu Musrin Havu. These people were warned. They warned them again and again and again, and they still didn't listen. So then, even if you hold a Morin King, in this case, you're already Morin King. His who come upon them, but by them, they warned them a couple of times, and they still don't listen. They kept putting out their pushly. So
Then you publicize.
everybody comes. Everybody comes.
In that case, in that specific case, he said.
Even though you hold Dvachim Morin King, but if he does it a lot of times, then
Closer
you're
to
Morin
it,
King.
it's the Kanas.
So everything's a knas over here. But the question was, more reason to deserve a knas. We're telling him again and again and again.
Snakes, so then you.
Then you say, then you announce it on the loudspeaker, everybody come, Hefker Chushli available. Yashikov.
Right.
It was a parable.
Tell the Mishnah.
Someone takes something out which won't become better in the Rosh Hashanah.
So that's goes. Okay. So there's no. So there's no.
What's
What's
the
a color code?
here? There's a problem.
It's a problem. But,
How do you know there's no color code?
that was a
There's more in the beginning.
no shame no
It's a
Shabbat. What comes
month.
even going to Rav? According to Zivi and Mile the Bear, it's
Are
no
we gonna
Shabbat.
go sing and dance?
So there's nothing. The Knas only on the Shabbat. According to Rav, no shame no Shabbat. What comes?
Never. Do you have a white garment for your wife?
We just have a problem how this.
It's pushing no shame no Shabbat. So Rashi says
She's
Mesyabish.
married.
He says Yapshu.
For your daughter, for your granddaughter.
Yeah. Why do you
So what's the
Now
difference?
Yeah, you
I could say I could say Yapshu is a Shabbat, but I don't see why he has to put it up in the street.
could do.
I'll take it over. Okay, I am.
Maybe I got one shot. And the thing about not because there's no reason to do it, so he doesn't have need a deterrent. The fact that it makes Shabbat alone, it makes Shabbat.
We're not gonna take away this. Because
Not I learned to Pshat the Gemara.
Because
It
it's a
didn't
reason
it didn't fit into the Gemara so much that it's saying them.
you were
But maybe it doesn't say that. It says Davar Shein Bo Shabbat Lo Kansu. It doesn't say because it doesn't need to be Shabbat.
So you say maybe even if the answer things that it has a Sheva,
Then they made a Knas.
maybe
So it's very then
That's
Smucha
huge.
begins to what I said.
I'm not sure. So you don't know for me in the halacha. The places that I spoke about the other day, right? But the schuches, there's no kol hakodim memzacha because there's no sheva.
You don't see, right? You don't see.
But you don't see. We're passing this last thing
The what?
with the that's Muslim. So right, Muslim could be also.
Mm.
I don't know.
Why is he putting it out all the time?
There was a letter over there. I just was trying to check it out. So, ciao.
I have a deadline, so I can't stay for the second class.
Yeah, Shikoch.